It is the start of a new year, which means it's time for some new indie releases coming our way in January 2025. Hello everyone, welcome back to A Fictional Escapist. My name is Kris, and today's video is our first indie release list for the year. It's very exciting. We have what I would call a modest list this time around, but there is at least one on here that I'm very excited to get to myself, and I'm hoping we'll find some gems along the way. Before we jump into the list today, make sure you're checking the description box down below for links to my social media and Discord should you want to come along for the ride. Now, as always, these lists do not come from me. They come from Rob J. Hayes over on his blog, and also AJ Calvin over on her blog, both of which will be linked down below. If you have releases coming out in the year of 2025, like myself, you can go ahead and put those books on these lists, and I will give it a video platform each and every month. So, without further ado, let's jump into what's coming our way January this year. On January 1st, we have God Ascended. This is by Jeff Spate, and it is I think the finale to this series, which is an archive of Avilum, and this is book number 3 in the epic fantasy sphere. All these books have exceptional covers. This one is no different. I really like the colors on here, but it is a book 3, so we need to move on from there. The book that I'm excited about, and one that is sitting in my Kindle waiting for me to get to it, I backed the Kickstarter, is Supplicant by Delilah Wan, and this is the Resonance Crystal Legacy book number 2. This book is so much bigger than the first book, so I'm a little bit intimidated, but I also can't wait to see what Delilah has in store for us. I really enjoyed Petition when it came out, and I'm looking forward to jumping into Supplicant sooner rather than later. It will probably be a February read for me, in all honesty. Then we head on over to some sci-fi with Quibble by Joshua Lavender. This is coming out on the 2nd of January, or has come out on the 2nd of January. And this one is a cyber monk. Now, I'm not sure what subgenre that pertains to, but that is what it says. It says, 49371, long ago, the transhuman Infinite stripped Earth of resources to build arcs for interstellar travel, leaving the planet ravaged. Now, cursed with longevity, unaware they're enslaved to technology, and awaiting transcendence to the few remaining arcs, transhuman ones inhabit an underground night world ruled by the surreally powerful Xeros and the AI Unity, their god. Clear-sighted, Quibble sees what no one should see, people's shadows in the dark. Raised by heretics, she chafes at Unity's religion. But now she doesn't want any part of the heresy and her preternatural gift. She only wants to find her mother, Quiddity, vanished without a trace. Venturing above ground with the heretic's help, Quibble discovers a bewildering new world. She falls in love with Definition, a fragile woman beset with grief. When her gift of sight ignites a war among the Xeros, Quibble is hounded by the phantom-like, similarly gifted Asuya, the messiah of a fascist vision for one's future. To prevail, she must find her own powers in her unique grasp of reality and human nature. But when Asuya reveals what became of her mother, Quibble's loyalties are confused as she struggles to learn the most elusive human trait, the ability to forgive. Now, we are going to put these right on because I struggled reading that. For that one. That sounds very interesting. I'm still not clear on what Cybermonk is, so if somebody knows, please tell me. Then on January 5th, we have Shadows and Sorcery. This is by Sean Hill, and I believe these are flash fiction, so short fiction coming out each week. It says every week, the author shakes up some digital names in a digital hat, by which they mean running a very crude first name, last name randomizer and write a quick flash fiction tale about the names that inspire some image or concept in their head. And every month, a new chapter of ongoing adventure serials in a world of faith and sorcery. The Path of Poison new chapter releases on January 19th. So this must start on January 5th, because that is the date that we have there. That sounds intriguing. How interesting. I'm not sure if I've come across something like that before. On the 7th of January, we have Greater Than All. This is by Abby Goldsmith, and this cover is quite intriguing to me. I'm going to go and have a look at what the first book entails, but I believe that's like a sea of bodies down the bottom. And then we've got like someone in like a spacesuit at the top. This is a book 5 in this is book 5 in Torth, which is a series name, and it looks like it is a grimdark sci-fantasy and progression series, which I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by the cover. I'm intrigued by the premise of that being progression and grimdark. We'll see. We'll see what's in store. Also, on January 7th, we have Thunder Kraken. This is Kraken Rider Z or Z, depending on where you're from, by Dirk Ashton and David Estes, and this is another progression fantasy. I think it's epic fantasy slash progression, and I haven't read the first one, but the pink on these covers is so popping and catching with the image and also the yellow of the font. I know a lot of people enjoyed book one, so if you're looking forward to book two, you don't have to wait too long. In fact, it's already out by the time this video gets to you. Then on the 11th of January, we have Tangled Wires, Secrets That Bind by D.M. Foyle, and this is a crime thriller novel. It says, with a fragmented memory and a grim future, Raz only feels confident about two things: hacking computers and that people can't be trusted. However, with her best friend missing and the head of the Russian mob hot on her tail, Raz must quickly decide if FBI agent Emmett Schultz is the exception rather than the rule, and whether he can find her friend before another falls victim to her treacherous past. As the mystery of her missing memory begins to unravel, I put glasses on, I can read, I swear, and becomes inextricably linked to the present, one thing becomes clear: nothing is as it seems. Sometimes lies are easier to stomach than the truth. Then on January 14th, we have Glass Cannon. This is by Kia Leap, and this is a literary RPG. It has an intriguing cover. I'm not sure what this device is on the front here with the purple, but I am interested. Is it a creature? Is it some sort of mechanism? I'm not sure. As a rising actor, Kanin's body is his career, his identity, his life. All that is taken from him when he dies and is reborn as a bottle of ink. It's a bottle of ink. Interesting. Now living as the heart of a magical glass servant, Kanin's new purpose is to perform a senile wizard's yard work, a role this world's magic system seems intent on enforcing. I'm intrigued. All that might have been manageable if a murderous shadow monster wasn't hunting his very soul. I hate when that happens. But he's not in it alone. Teaming up with an elf whose soul has likewise been trapped in a toy octopus, they recruit help from a devilishly handsome rogue and set off on a journey to break the spell that trapped them in this state. A wizard owns his body. The magic system has determined his fate. A shadow monster wants to control his mind. But as long as Kanin's soul remains his own, he'll fight to win back his autonomy, or die trying. Again. That has me very intrigued. A toy octopus and a bottle of ink teaming up together in a literary RPG. If anyone picks this one up, let me know. On January 15th, we have Morveling. This is an Irviad, butchered that, novel by C.J. Switzer. And this is a very cool cover. This is my cover pick of the month, and it is up here. Morveling, an exile trapped by the same vices that led to his son's death, is ready to end it all, until he meets the orphan Nipik-Tua, a mute and deaf child marked by the fates with a knack for mischief. Though guilt-ridden, Morveling will not allow himself to abandon her and to her treacherous destiny, and so vows to find her a safe and hidden home. A wayward and perilous journey begins. Along their path, the two encounter a magical stag, escape warmongering centaurs, dispute with an obstinate prince, and flee from dragon zealots. But when the zealots capture I can't pronounce this name, Nipik-Tua, as a sacrifice to the dragon's whim, Morveling must allay his fears and race to save the child from the strings of the fates in the shadow of the tyrannical dragon. That sounds interesting as well, and that cover is so gorgeous. The little bits of color coming through the dark sort of background is just so nice. I'm enjoying it a lot. On January 19th, we have two entries. Well, the first is January 19th. The next one is later, by Niranjan K. This one is Before the Eden, The Lost Race, Book 1, and this is sci fantasy. Got some lovely purple on this cover here. I'm not sure about the guy overseeing the moon, though, personally, but I like the color. Centuries ago, the human race had arrived at the Swelgarian system in order to escape extinction, and were welcomed by a mysterious race called the Deri. After being attacked by the creature called the Worse, I probably butchered all of that. In the present day, the Deri have been annihilated by humans and Worses, and a relentless battle between the Worses and humans is being waged, with the humans holding the upper hand, thanks to the organization called Hunters. Steve Carell, a hunter, and his siblings are plagued by strange dreams about the locked room, which is believed to contain the last remnants of the now extinct race of the Deri. Kevin Bones, his grandfather, is murdered. His brother Paul is attacked, and Richard, his father, is in a coma after visiting the planet of Cadell, where the locked room is. When truths about their connection to the locked rooms come to light, the Corells and their friends find themselves in a race against time to save themselves as well as the entire planetary system from the power within the locked room. What's in this locked room? Something's in there, and it's not good, by the sounds of things. On January 25th, we have a disability and fantasy anthology. This is called Artifice and Access, and it looks delightful. I'm excited for this one as well. There's an author in here who I very much respect, and I'm looking forward to the project coming to light. This is an anthology, and it really has disability at the center of its focus. I believe all these stories incorporate something about disability. It says, it's long been known that disability representation is lacking in the fantasy genre landscape. So this anthology, 14 writers from around the globe come together to bring you wonderful fantasy stories centering around disabled and chronically ill characters. Teeming with magic, otherworldly creatures, discoveries, and journeys, every story is as thrilling and fascinating as it is passionate and meaningful. Worlds are discovered, lives are changed, swords are drawn. Disabled and chronically ill characters go questing, fighting dragons, healing, and enacting strange magics. Familiar fairy tales are reimagined and new fairy tales are forged, with each story shattering stereotypes and challenging traditional narratives. Come see yourself reflected or discover something new. I'm really looking forward to that one. I'm happy that this is coming out into the world. It warms my heart. Also on the 25th of January, we have Blood of the Guardians by Ashley Capes. This is the book 9. I believe the series is the Book of Never, and the cover is gorgeous. Again, some beautiful colors. I don't know what words are, but beautiful colors coming through this one. The pink definitely has me, like my eyeballs peaked while I'm looking at it. And another one that I need to go and have a look at book 1 because I'm quite interested in what's happening here. On the 27th of January, we have Animus Paradox. This is by Adam Bassett, and this is part of the Digital Extremities. So Digital Extremities came out last year. It was a collection of short stories, I believe, and I think this is a story within that world. And this is in the cyberpunk subgenre, which is on the rise at the moment, and I'm here for it. I love me a bit of cyberpunk. There is a thief on the loose. The Tigress excel at tipping the scales in their favor, be it through bribes, politics, or blood. They unofficially run Verberto, Italy, and somebody stole from them. Private investigators David and Mafalda de Campo have been hired to help find the thief. They're in it for the money, but the Tigress just want to make a statement. Meanwhile, the Heredes, I butchered that, have returned, ruthless idealists and revolutionaries. It's not clear what they're up to, but they keep getting in the way. The De Campos will need to decide how far they're willing to go for this job, and the Tigress, Verberto, probably how you pronounce it, may soon become a battlefield, and one wrong move could set it aflame. I need to get to this collection of short stories. It's on my list to read in 2025, and then hopefully picking this one up shortly after because I have both, thanks to the author. Then on the 28th of January, we have one that people are looking forward to in my circles. This is The Shards of the Moon by Brendan Noble. This is the Frostmart Chronicles book number 5, and I believe the conclusion to this series, don't quote me on that. This is YA epic fantasy and sword and sorcery, and again, just a beautiful cover here. The gods of death and darkness await, but being a book 5, I cannot give you more than that. Then on the 29th of January, we have Forged in Flames. This is by Jessica Barbary, and we just had a release of book 2. I believe that was either November or December, and this is the part of the fires of an Empire saga. So I believe this is a book 3 to this one. And again, a beautiful cover here. I like the light and the shadows playing together on this one. But it is a book 3, unfortunately, so we will need to move on. Finishing us off on the 31st of January, we have Blade of Castrial. This is the Echelon by Niranjan K, the second entry by this author, and a beautiful cover with the blue and the flowers here, just lovely. This is urban fantasy / sword and sorcery. It's a choice between love and duty. What can he choose? When Lucian is appointed Blade of the Castrial, the second highest position in the Echelon of Castrial, next only to the King and equal only to the Shield of Castrial, it's the culmination of an impossible dream. The role of the Blade is to protect Castrial from external threats, and in the course of his job, Lucian comes across secrets about his dead brother, whom he idolized. Secrets he can never share with Alaric, his best friend and lover, who is next in line to become the Shield of Castrial. When the current Shield of Castrial is killed suddenly, and all clues point to Alaric, Lucian has to decide whether he should turn a blind eye or let the law take its course. Those are all the books that we have coming our way in January 2025, at least on these lists. As always, if I miss any, or because sometimes entries do come in after the fact, I'll put the books that I miss in the description box down below, so go ahead and check that out just in case there are any more. Are you looking forward to any of these? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like the content, give one of those. If you want to see more of it, click subscribe at your will, and I will catch you in the next video. Ciao.